Talking to you today about something I guess I would consider a combination of a developer tool and kind of lifestyle choice. But the journey that I had started back in 2008 when I came across this Wired magazine article called "Do You Want to Remember Everything You'll Ever Learn? Surrender to This Algorithm." And it kind of starts off with this confident Polish man you see on the right here, who's named Wozniak, and some academic research they were doing into, I guess, what was they found to be the best time for you to learn something, or learn something again, or remember something is right when you're about to forget it. So there was a lot of academic research going into this chart here on the left, which is they were trying to predict the forgetting curve, so they could populate something to pop up, as in it would come up in that right time period of you to remind it then afterwards. The guy on the right here was doing a lot of work on the algorithm to do that, and he's not a very good capitalist, so he kind of put up all his information and research for free and let other people take it and build their own products basically on top of it. He was kind of just into the research himself, which the article then referenced a couple of different flashcard programs that were out there. I sampled a couple of them, and I came across on something called Anki. It started off it's an independent developer. The guy just does it himself. He does it as his full-time job now. He just started as a hobby at first. But essentially it uses the Lightner flashcarding program, which is basically, it's like, if you have an easy flashcard, you can put it all the way in the back, but if you have something hard, you just put it up sooner, and then you'll see it again sooner kind of thing. So they built kind of a flashcard app with the algorithms based in there to try and predict the correct time you're going to forget a flashcard, so they can show it to you, so then it'll stay in your head kind of better. So the software itself is free. It currently still offers free cloud storage as well. So if you create an account online, you can have a free cloud service. And it's actually kind of really efficient. And creating flashcards takes a lot of time, but the tool itself is pretty good. It takes images, so you can just take snapshots for a lot of stuff and drag it in. And then it's also acts as a pretty good localized knowledge base. So if you know that you have a card on something, but you can't remember exactly what it is, you can just go to the browse tool and search through all the cards and kind of have it up as kind of a local Stack Overflow instead of searching online for it. And that's kind of the main page here of the decks that you can have, and then here's the, how you study it. It kind of has the main page there. So I found it to be good for learning new syntax for the new language it has. I didn't really know anything about programming much at all before this past year, so it's really helped me get control flow statements and a bunch of other different things there. Memorizing selectors for your CSS. It's really good for how-to flows, just small processes that we learn through here during the class. I used it for trying to pick up on and go through the code school classes, and they kind of spit information at you very quickly. It's pretty good for trying to piece apart those refactorings and understanding what you need to do for it then going forward, as well as the best practices that you can go through there too. And I've also found it to be good for small method writing challenges, so kind of like FizzBuzz, but for palindromes and different things like that. It's kind of helped with learning how to do those types of problems. So I have my cards broken down into Ruby itself, Rails, then JavaScript, and the related things. Dev tools for shortcuts and such, and Git, and design aspects, and then just there's other different web development type of items. Anki is a web service. It's got a pretty decent community, so there's actually a lot of people who will make cards and then share it on the community. So you can go on there and search for different things. There's some computer science things, some other data stuff, some math stuff, but other than that, not all too much related in the Ruby aspect. And then I shortly kind of found later on that there's a Rails developer who shared the same philosophy that I did on it. He's, I guess, been working for a number of years as kind of a freelancer based in Berlin. And he put on his blog a link to his database of flashcards. So he put up like 5,500 flashcards that he does all across web development. in Ruby and such. And then I had made about 1,300 this past year of just different stuff going across the different things, mainly from a lot of the code school snapshots and other Ruby Monk and other things that I go across there, which kind of leads to be, a total of 6,800 for there. A lot of different Ruby stuff, and the Ruby is pretty good in that it'll, some of it's over my head of his flashcards because he's a professional developer, but it does teach you a lot of new things that different methods can do and other things like that. So they're pretty good. So I wanted to, I guess at one point, since I had all this, bring it and share the knowledge since the software is free itself. So I packaged all of the decks up into this jump share link. I've never used jump share before. So for anyone who's interested, there'll be a link up there with an instructions page for how to go about getting Anki and doing it, and then getting the clump of files that are up there. I only ask, I guess, two things. The Jack Kinsella asked for donations, so if you do use his cards and find them to be useful in learning web development, then kick him a couple bucks. And then the other thing I asked is, I took a lot of snapshots from Code School and other vendors, so I don't think it's really fair to share those publicly on the Anki web or anything. So if you get these, then please don't upload them to the web then afterwards. But otherwise, enjoy and see if you're interested into it. It does take a lot of time to cycle through the cards to get current, but once you're current and you're zeroing out, each deck each day, it's actually it gets down because it's spacing it out. Like the first week, it'll populate back in 4 days, then a week or so, but then it's a month, and then up towards 4 months. So you're not really seeing the cards that often. So it's easily to handle a lot of the information. And absorb it without, spending all too much time looking at them kind of thing. It's just the way that it has it spread out. It's kind of, efficient for going across those. And that's pretty much it. So just wanted to share.
Nice.